wabeka yensa honorable ekosi sensu ni mo akwaba
so afishaba
afi papa nkometri afi yense da ni nkomo bibi aboko de
say ja me dey say ebedu bebe ne say mo yi me ba kwa ma me dey say me jam na me kona na me hwe na hafa.
But me share videos from Parliament, DF and an auditorium ho. Colleagues ni biya press conference. Me hu Muntaka Mubarak, me hu Neil Ante Van Der Poel, me hu Cletus Avoka, me hu Dominic Ayene. Na uni hobi adain.
Because the constituency secretary, the immediate past constituency secretary passed on just 2 days ago, so I had to rush to the constituency.
Oh, okay. But in what is happening now, because me who post we on Facebook about an hour ago, we say this struggle in Parliament has been because of lack of exhaustive consultation and engagement. For the proposed leadership to address the press at this stage is unfortunate. Can you lead with about 70 dissenting members? So one outro way.
Yeah, I'm correct.
Meaning say ono o support Cletus Avocani Muntakane group na press conference and no.
Oh, me form support.
But that would be you going against a decision of your political party. And
you see, luckily enough, the NDC is a democratic party, and therefore the voice of each and every member is counted. Now, when decisions are taken, and particularly they are taken without the consultation of all stakeholders, it is within the rights of every member to voice his or her concerns. Now, we share your current position at your kind. What we have said, and very clearly, is that it is not that you cannot have changes in leadership. Indeed, since 1992 up to even today, there has always been some changes in leadership. But the changes in leadership, in one way or the other, is done with some level of consultation and then engagement. The argument, and I say, based on the past two, that's 7th Parliament and 8th Parliament that I've been privileged to be part of, there has been some level of engagement with the parliamentary caucus. In the 7th Parliament, there was a proposal of names. The name that the Haruna Idrisu led group.
Yes.
It was brought, people discussed it. And then that was when I was in Nino and I just got to Parliament. And then the names were adopted. In the 2021, in fact, members of Parliament had indicated that since the Haruna Idrisu led group had moved us from 106 to 137, it meant that they had earned the right to lead us. And then so we said that we were going to confirm them. But we didn't stay there. Indeed, authority was given to each of the caucuses. And I speak because I am the caucus secretary for the Upper East Caucus.
Okay.
And so the caucus sat and took decisions on the leadership. And then on the basis of that, all the 16 caucuses, but the conclusion said the leadership that took us from 2017 to 2020 should continue from 2021 up to So our argument has been that even if in the spirit of reorganization and to strategically position the party for victory 2024 was anything that was guiding the current process, it should have been done with the consultation of all stakeholders, particularly the parliamentary caucus. Meaning, I am a member of Parliament. For me to submit to the authority of an individual, I must be consulted. Because leaders who are appointed, they, for one reason or the other, they become the superintendent officers of the caucus. And for me to submit to their authority and their direction, I must first be consulted as to whether I'm ready to submit to that. And consulting me, then that's a challenge. So our argument has been very clear that the current process, and because all of us got to know about this thing when we saw a letter addressed to Mr. Speaker, and the argument is very clear, and he said the process has not been exhaustive in terms of consultation. Engagement is almost nil, and so on the basis of that, the process has to be reversed, and then engagement and consultations sought before you make progress. But let me also quickly add this. This has nothing to do with personalities. It has nothing to do with the Atuforsen or whoever is involved. It has nothing to do with Haruna or whoever is involved. It has to do with the process. And that is exactly what we are looking at.
Yeah, but the argument can also be made, Honorable, say, processes now, what happened 2017, what happened 2020. Some can argue, say, just conventional, and it's not stated anywhere, say, or say, you're caught strictly by that process every time.
And then, if it's conventional, it is also not the case that there is nowhere in our rules that states that individuals can take up decisions on the leadership of parliament. It's just as you use the word convention. Over a period of time, there has been a conventional way that was done at one point or the other. I am just giving you the two parliamentary cycles that I have been a member, and what we have done. And I thought that in the spirit of democratic engagement and in the spirit of democratic tenants, we thought that to be able to carry everybody along, build consensus and build these consensus through engagement and consultation. That, in our very humble opinion, has not been done.
Okay, sir, individuals cannot take decisions for the caucus in parliament. And individuals, but the last time I read that letter to the speaker, I said the party's leadership and decided. No?
If you look at our party, there are three bodies that can take decisions for us: Congress, NEC, and then the Functional Executive Committee, NEC. I am happy you have indicated. They have not indicated that it was a decision taken by FEC. It was a decision taken by NEC. It was a decision taken by a friend saying
Council, Congress.
Indeed,
yeah.
Indeed. So at the last NEC meeting, the argument was made that because
94.7
it's a presidential primaries in May, that all previous officers who had been appointed, whether director of elections, director of legal, or what have you, were supposed to still occupy their positions until after the May presidential and parliamentary primaries. We thought that in that same vein, all other leadership in the various places, whether it is even the parliamentary caucus, should have been kept at the same level, so that after that we could take a very comprehensive overhaul as to who should be appointed to lead which particular organ of the party. That has not been done. But even notwithstanding that, the argument is there for the 137 members of parliament to have a new set of leaders. We have no issues about that, but we need to be engaged, because in the first place, I'll just give you a very simple, as a democratic being, for me to tell me to submit to the leadership of a leader in my caucus, I should be consulted. Today, the general secretary, the vice chairperson, the chairman, the national organizer, I am forced to submit to their directives by virtue of the fact that there was a process that involved a nationwide election of delegates that finally brought them into office. So, by extension, we are just saying that to get members or maybe leaders to lead an organ, whether it is the youth wing, whether it is the women's wing, or it is the parliamentary caucus, which is a very important caucus, the people who will have to submit to the authority of their leaders should at least be consulted.
So I understand from the Wakenya, say your suspicion would be then, say, maybe the general secretary and a Suomo to a neutral letter and the command speaker.
I am not giving suspicions. I am telling you that as a member of the caucus, I have not been consulted. As a member of the caucus, I do not have any information that suggests that the caucus as a group has been consulted. And I am speaking from that knowledge. As to whether it is the general secretary who wrote all by himself or in collaboration with other national officers, I am unable to speak to that fact. But I can say very clearly that as a parliamentary caucus, we were not consulted.
If you are confronted with this argument, Honorable, say Article 110 of the Constitution, Emma Parliament kwan say mo standing orders emfa and regulating mo procedure in the House. In that same standing order, the interpretative section eka minority leader. It means a member of Parliament designated by the party having the largest numerical strength in Parliament other than the party that has formed the government as the recognized leader of all the minority groups in the House. And a member of Parliament designated by the party. So the party leadership has decided, and it doesn't say anywhere say the members should be consulted.
Unfortunately, and with all due respect and humility, the party is not the general secretary. Or with all humility and with the reverence I accord the office, because I'm speaking by virtue of the fact that the general secretary signed the letter. The party is not the general secretary. The general secretary is made up of the party is made up of various organs and other things, from the council of elders up to the branch level. As the 9 people who occupy the position at the branch level. That's the unit level. And the party now, it is not an individual. What is the
Yeah, I get you.
Good.
I get you. Finally, the specific request now, and they say that letter should be withdrawn. Now, I'm going to start the process all over again. And answer then.
Our point has been simple. That with respect to the offices of the people who signed that, we are saying that letter, that process should be reversed, and then they should initiate an engagement with the necessary stakeholders, including particularly the parliamentary caucus of Parliament.
Yeah, but the new minority leader is acting as a minority leader. We hold the press conference that I introduce you on any team, to the Ghanaian people and all of that. We call party headquarters. Any national executives aboma a joint press conference as we speak. I'm quite so echo speaker of Parliament. So really, how would that be reversed?
Minia, you see, I can't believe you. However, the point I'm here, and I believe that the reason why you invited me for this interview is because of my post on Facebook.
Absolutely.
If that is the case, my very simple question I ask, that even if you have 10 dissenting members, I'm not talking about 70, and I can tell you as we speak now, that our total number is above 70. So if that we are just even 2 or 3 people who are indicating that we are not comfortable with the processes under which the leadership was brought into being, is it not prudent that you will engage them instead of rather trying to come out with this Tarzan-like type of posture? Because at the end of the day, you have to lead people. People must submit to your authority. What is about to say? People must submit to your authority.
Yes.
And I thought that the press conference in itself was unfortunate, and I thought that we could have looked at a way of trying to come to a middle ground. And the only way that could have been there, because all the points that the 70 plus MPs are indicating is engagement and understanding to know as to what went into this, what are our own views, by virtue of the fact that we are in Parliament on a day-to-day basis. Just take it in. Even if at the end of the day, me as Edward Abambiri Bawa, the MP for Bongo, or maybe any other MP who thinks like me, even if I make my case to you and you hear it, you capture it, and you still say that this is the decision to go, I know that at least you have engaged me. But to ignore it and to state categorically that you have contacted or maybe you have consulted the people who matter, I have a very different opinion to this, humbly speaking. And Mimi say, yes, they could be going to the party headquarters. Yes, they could have been addressing a press conference. But you see, the mark of leadership is to get every member of your group following you. And I think that is what we should be looking at. And that's why we are hoping that our petition, which we are going to do anyway, to the Council of Elders, will create a platform that will let all the various stakeholders meet and discuss the way forward. But I'm very sure in my mind that the minority caucus will come out of this stronger and ready to deliver our role as the caucus within the party.
If after all is said and done, Na Haruna Idrisu Ansayama back as leader of the minority. What would you do?
I have indicated to you earlier on that our position is not based on personalities. It's not based on whether it is Atofosu who is the leader or it is Haruna Idrisu who is the leader. Our contention is about the processes. It is the processes we are looking at. The end product is of no consequence if the process in itself is injured. And if he said there's an injury to the processes, and that is the process we want to address. As to whether Haruna ends up becoming the leader or Atofosu becomes the leader, it's not consequential to our particular, what they call it, our stand. Yet the NSA processes must be followed as a democratic group.
Honorable, Mayenase, Bibiania will come back and have a conversation. Why? Edward Bawa, a member of parliament, Bongo constituency in the Upper East region, and I'm